Dr. Chris Jones, host of the podcast Seeing to Lead here. I want to welcome you to a collaborative project called Small Nuggets, Big Change. I'm doing this with Craig Shapiro, a fantastic educator, author, and host of the podcast Cutting the Crap with Shap. These episodes are designed to take a prompt we provide for each other and then in 10 minutes give you some small nuggets that will lead to big changes in your personal and professional life. We don't talk or listen to each other's answers before recording. What you are about to hear is our take in various areas to help you improve from day to day. Remember, success is not a destination, but a journey. Keep moving forward because you are awesome. We want to personally thank you for taking the time to listen and encourage you to subscribe to our channels, share with your comments, and offer any suggestions. Now, on to the show.
Welcome to Small Nuggets, Big Change, Episode 3. Dr. Jones and I want to thank you for all the support, feedback that we've gotten so far. We really appreciate your help. If you haven't checked out our stuff yet, please go to one of our podcasts. Mine is Cutting the Crap with Shap. His is Seeing to Lead. And check out our episodes 1 and 2. Leave a comment. Give us feedback. Tell us topics you'd really like to hear, because that's all about sharing and making our world a better place. So now we're on to episode 3, and it's called Pick Up the Needle. I had never heard this before. I was at the gym talking to a friend of mine, and I don't know how we got on a conversation of it, but she mentioned pick up the needle. And as we were talking, I thought to myself, wow, what a great concept. So here's what pick up the needle is. I love music. I'm always listening to music, and being older, I have a lot of records. So some of the records are old, and when I put the needle on, it'll play for a little bit and it gets stuck. And guess what? If I keep starting the record over and it keeps going to the same spot, it keeps getting stuck. And it will keep doing that until I pick up the needle and move it to another spot. Now, that can be tough, because what if I pick up the needle and it gets stuck in another spot, which can happen? Well, then I have to think to myself, maybe there's something wrong with the record and I got to do something else. So the concept of picking up a needle is pretty simple to understand, but sometimes hard to do. If you have something going on in your life where you're getting stuck in a rut and it keeps happening over and over again, which happens to all of us, you got to pick up the needle and try to mix it up a little bit. It's like I pick up the needle on the record and move it to another spot, and sometimes it works perfectly and I don't have to worry about it. That's kind of what I'm recommending. Try something different. Now, when you pick up the needle, you don't want to try something daunting where the needle's just going to get stuck again. You want to try something where you really think it's going to be something like, hey, I don't have to worry about this. So I always think about starting small, picking up the needle and moving to something that's easy to accomplish where you don't have to worry about it. And again, once you do that, there's a great chance the needle won't get stuck and you'll be done with it. So it's a simple concept, but not always easy to do. Again, if you feel like your needle is stuck, pick it up, move it to another spot, or even replace it. Thanks again for all your support. I cannot wait to hear Dr. Jones come back with his take on pick up the needle, and then I'll be wrapping it up.
Hey everyone, Doc Jones here with our 3rd episode in Small Nuggets for Big Change. First thing I want to do is I want to thank you for taking the time to tune in, for listening, and for taking some of the advice that we're doing. I really appreciate it. I know Shap appreciates it. And here's the next piece of that as well. Please take the time to subscribe, comment, get those notifications on our YouTube channels that are showing these. And also, we'll be putting them on our podcast episodes as well. So make sure you subscribe to our podcasts wherever you listen. That's Cutting the Crap with Shap, and that's Seeing to Lead. I think you can tell whose is whose. But thank you. And remember that we're proud of you for doing this with us and supporting us on this new journey. Look, I got to tell you, this 3rd prompt, pick up the needle, really had me stumped. So I'm going to take it from the record player standpoint of those vinyl records. I know I'm dating myself, have grooves. The needle goes in the groove and it goes around and around and around. We get to doing something else. Before we know it, we have boom, 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 boom. It's stuck in that groove, no more music, and it just keeps going around with no outcome or production of any kind. Don't let your lives become that. And I'm going to do that with you in 3 ways. reflect, adjust, refuse. If we don't know, we can't. So then there's the issue of reflect. You have to reflect on where you are, where you want to be, what's going on in your life, and how you can move forward. The next piece is adjust. Switch habits out. Switch things out that you're doing. Look, if you don't eat as a family, try and start eating as a family. Kind of make it a little bit of a rule. Talk to people about it, because then people will expect it. You have to adjust what you're doing. If you eat a bag of chips at night, watching Netflix every night, it's not because you're hungry. It's because you're bored, because it's your rut. So adjust that. And that leads me into the idea of refuse. Sometimes it's harder than we expect, or that we'll realize until we try it, to make those adjustments. We've reflected on it. We've tried to adjust and we can't get it done. So much like the record player, that needle can't move itself. It needs a little outside help. So get some outside help. Think about it. Make rules. If you're supposed to eat dinner with your family at the table and they're spreading out, make it a rule that every night from certain time to certain time, everything goes off in the house and you sit and eat. Before you know it, dinners will be longer. They'll be more fulfilling, and they'll take up that other time that you use for other things like Netflix and sitting around. At night, before you turn on that TV, why don't you make it a rule that you've got to read for 30 minutes, or you have to play a game? And we all know that one game never stops at one game, because there's a winner and a loser, and the loser always wants to play again to get back in that winner circle. Do that before you know it. There's no time to watch Netflix before you want to go to bed. And if you're eating chips, if it's a snack thing, hey, look, don't buy them. Don't bring them in a house. And then even when you go down and look, it still gives you that pause to say, no, I can't do this. This is just a habit. I'm not doing it because of any other reason except I'm in a bad. But that's what it's about. It's about reflecting, adjusting, and refusing. Do those three things. You'll pick up that needle. You won't be in a rut. And then you can restart it and play your own record of successful songs that benefit you.
Man, so Dr. Jones and I, we were on the same page with the record, which was good. But then he did some really cool things that I didn't think about. He picked three things. He talked about reflection, adjusting, and refusing. And I love them because I think they really, really make sense. When we think deeply about getting stuck in a rut or the needle being stuck, we have to think about and reflect on, why is it happening? If we don't reflect, it'll just keep going over and over again. And then we have to kind of adjust to making change. You know, if we keep letting it sit there, it'll keep getting stuck. But once we make that small adjustment, it's something I talked about earlier, that's key. And the last thing, the refuse, I really didn't think about, but I love his concept of it. Sometimes it's refusing those bad habits that we're doing and trying something new that can really, really work well. Again, I loved his idea of dinner with the family. I think that's a great idea. I know I do that. And also about just playing a game and trying something different. And the two things he mentioned, talked about like Netflix and the bag of chips. It's true. Those things can be tough habits to break, but that's what we really want to focus on. And finally, we are both huge believers in getting outside help if we need it. That's why we're doing this together, because we want to help each other and help you be better and find some great habits that you can build for your life. So that is the end of episode 3. Again, please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Mine is Cutting the Crap with Shap, and Dr. Jones is Seeing to Lead. Put a comment in. Give us some feedback. Give us some tips. Thank you again for all you do. We appreciate you. And as always, you are awesome.
Again, thanks for listening to the Small Nuggets Big Change podcast. Like I said, two of us providing value through a quote we gave to each other. We're all just trying to improve. Make sure you start building those habits today by taking action on something you heard. Connect with us via social media, but remember to subscribe, rate, review, and share your comments. It really helps the show out. Remember to check out our other podcasts as well, Cutting the Crap with Shap by Craig Shapiro and Seeing to Lead by me, Chris Jones. We would both appreciate you helping us build these projects up and out as we go. Now, go have a successful week because you are awesome.